everybody. Welcome to The Right Conversation with 𝐒𝐲𝐕 Pheasant, where we talk about the hard stuff. I get into the real good things that you really want to hear when you listen into conversations with people. Look, communication isn't the biggest problem on a team. The biggest problem on a team is not having the right conversation soon enough. And the right conversation is really about 5 factors. Talking to the right person about the right thing at the right time, with the right tone and intonation, and with the right intentions. So join me for the right conversations that I have with my guests, and you get to hear all about the hard stuff. You're going to love this. So let's dig in. Hi, everybody. 𝐒𝐲𝐕 Pheasant here for another conversation. It's always the right conversation because we dig in and we talk the tough stuff. We get into the conversations that we should be having because communication really isn't the problem on a team. And I am so excited to have Sue Dixon here, the founder of Give Me 10. She has quite a story. She is a woman in a man's world. She makes stuff happen, and I admire her tenacity. So everybody, welcome to Miss Sue Dixon. Hello.
Hello, 𝐒𝐲𝐕. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm excited to deep dive.
Yes. Well, I remember when we met at Women in Auto Care. So for those of you listening, if you haven't heard of Women in Auto Care, you have now. It's an amazing national organization through the Auto Care Association that's about women in the automotive aftermarket. And I know we have a lot of listeners from other industries. I think what Sue's going to share with you is going to be able to cross industries, because what she's doing in the automotive aftermarket, I'm sure needs to be done in other industries as well. And it's about giving me 10. So Sue, tell me, how did you get into Give Me 10? You started as a shop owner in the industry. Am I correct? Or is there more history that I'm not aware of? Because when I met you at Women in Auto Care in Palm Springs, we connected, we had a great dinner, and we have continued our friendship, our relationship since then.
Right. Started off, I am a product of the automotive aftermarket industry. I grew up in a household where my dad was a trainer for Uniroyal back in the day. So I kind of grew up, in a shop. Got involved in the shop late on, probably around 84, just doing some back office work. And that just continued to grow as changes happen within my life and with industry, right? Everything's changing. When I first came into the industry, there was virtually no women involved in automotive. And now we're seeing, a really good group of women that come in and they're paying attention to detail. They're, coming in to the workforce and they're making changes, positive changes. And I just love it. So happened back in—
It's never been so popular to be a girl.
Right. A girl in a man's world.
It's the year of the girl. It's the century of the girl. It's the decade of the girl. Let's go, girls. Ladies,
let's
women.
do this.
I don't know. We have to get semantics in there, right? Yeah. And you are a force to be reckoned with, my dear. So you've always been in the industry. You have a shop. You're transitioning out of your shop. You're doing more motivational speaking, and you're really working with your nonprofit, your organization, and partnering now. Yes?
Yes. And basically we're looking at education, because education is now kind of turning their tails with a 4-year college, and they're looking at things and saying skilled labor is back in fashion. So I think, we as an automotive industry need to kind of look at this and say, this is our opportunity to look at education as an avenue to grow our new workforce, right? How do we do that? And how do we simplify everything? So I was involved with a 10 group in my county. So there was 10 automotive shops. We got together monthly to help each other with different problems that we see, right? So hiring, firing, courtesy cars, insurance, uniforms, you name it, we touched it. We did not have a sponsor. We did not ask for Auto Care Association to come in. It was just the 10 of us meeting once a month to say, hey, what's the topic of the month?
How long ago was that again?
2017. We started that.
So Napa Business Development Group's kind of the same concept: 10, 11 shops, 15 shops, 30 shops in the same area getting together, right? Normally you have your mastermind groups, your 20s groups. And what they do is they take businesses from different communities and put you in a group together. And it gets rid of that I guess, tension that you're each other's competitor, right? Kind of a thing. And here's the deal. I love the groups like you're talking about, that the 10 of you in the same community. I just finished my 7-year tenure as a business development group president for Napa. By the way, one of the top 2 considered successful groups in the nation. Just
There you go.
boom, boom, ran by a female. And we help each other more. We have collaboration. I mean, just last night, my husband and another shop owner were in their 2G certification class, and they were talking about the workforce and things that are happening and tools and all kinds of things. So I think it's a great collaboration. So you've been collaborating for a long time.
Right. We started this back and then we simplified things. We were meeting at a restaurant every Thursday, third Thursday of the month, and we switched it up a little bit. So every other month we went to each other's shops and we actually critiqued what we saw, what we're doing, our job flow. So I thought that was really beneficial for everybody in the group. We all honored each other's privacy. We, gave them positive feedback and everybody benefited it. We didn't pay a fee for this. This was something that was voluntary. And so we all got together and did that. With that being said, I went to my first advisory meeting because the high school was always, every year, send an invite to the advisory meeting. My dad at the time was on, kind of not really working, but working. And I said, I think we should go to this. And he goes, what for? It doesn't bring any money into the shop. And I'm like, well, I think it's, maybe we can get something out of it. Doesn't bring anything into the shop, so we shouldn't even attend. So because my dad said not to go, I went. And that was the change. That was the change in my whole direction when I went into my first advisory meeting. You go in there, you see culinary, you see all these other career pathways, have a lot of support, and you go into the automotive group and there was myself and one other person. So it was very sad because we look at our industry and I think we're all so busy trying to make that ROI.
Being an essential service, 2020 identified us. We're an essential service. Look, if your car isn't running, how do you get to work? How do you get your kids to school? How do you go grocery shopping? How do you get to church? How do you go to dinner with your husband at night for a date? How do you take your daughter or your son to their baseball game, their football game? How do you have no freedom, right? So we are such an essential service. And I think you're right, Sue. What's happening with we need to pay more attention to keeping this industry going on the inside of it. High school programs in our neighborhood are shutting down. Like all we have now is college. And that's crazy because not every student is made to go to college. Parents, if you're out there thinking that college is what your job as a parent, you have to really brainwash your kid and that you have to go to college. I just want to tell you that there are thousands of people out there with college degrees that aren't even using them, and they're still paying their college tuition debt. So by all means, don't think that college is the only answer. The trades are a fantastically wonderful profession to be in. We keep this world going. The United States was founded on the trades, and the automotive industry is a great place to be. Think of self-driving cars. We're like engineers now, right? We're technicians.
Right. And that's the thing that we need to, as an industry, we need to start talking about. We need to start engaging these young students. And funny you should say, there's no programs. I actually had a shop in Chicago that reached out to me to start a program, and we started looking at the public school systems there, and they have gotten rid of almost all their automotive programs, which is really, really sad. And this is one of the reasons why our industry is suffering, because we're not offering this, right? We're not showcasing all the wonderful things that we can do in our industry. So went to my advisory meeting, and this is when Jack Wilson, my education partner, said, hey, we're trying to get an internship program or some kind of program to engage work-based learning with local shops. And I said, hey, I got this 10 group, and maybe, we can help you. So that's kind of the birth of this 10 group that I worked with. We worked through all the different facets of what would work in a daily, in our daily work habits, right? So we don't want a student there for 8 straight hours. We don't want a student to bog us down so we can't produce what we need to produce during that day. So the Give Me 10 concept kind of birthed so it could kind of showcase our industry to a student in a simplified form. So basically what we do is we take 5 visits of 2 hours apiece, and those visits are matched with the student's class schedule. So they go to Tech Campus for 2 hours. Instead of going to Tech Campus, they come to us for 2 hours. So the ask is, will you donate 10 hours to a local student to see if it's a good career fit? When we talk about career fit, when we talk about advisory meetings, when we talk about education, the reason why we go to these advisory meetings is because we, as industry professionals, need to know what's being taught in the schools is in line with industry standards. And throughout my path for the last 7 years, we're identifying that there's a lot of schools out there that aren't in line with the curriculum, with all the nuances that are coming up in our industry.
Totally. So our business development group partners with our community college. They have a very robust automotive training 2-year degree program there. I know that they have some of the other, I won't name them, but industry where you can go and learn, but they cost a lot of money for students. They take out a lot of debt, a lot of loan, or you can go to a community college right in your town that has a great automotive program for you and work at the same time, right? You're not paying for housing while you're out of state, et cetera. And I think that if we can help them grow and we can help people know about them, that there's a lot of things, but we have to make sure their curriculum is in line. And our college curriculum was not in line. And so how we partnered as shop owners is we kind of told them, here's what we need. And so we're really cohesive with them. Not only that, but the students' classes now are either all in the morning or all in the afternoon, so they can work the other half of the day. So our college is actually going out of their way to make that happen. However, that's also not a fit for everybody. And I love Give Me 10 because it's allowing somebody to step in and see, is this worth my 2-year commitment? Is this something I really like and I want to go into? And I think it's helpful for shops. Doesn't it almost energize them? Like to have somebody come in that's learning, that's excited?
We have, we're rolling out our 2024 interns right now. So we have 27 interns going out in the field as of right now, 27. And
Wow.
we look at it, okay, the student gets a taste of what the industry is, right? The business partner gets a taste to say, okay, first of all, is what's being taught in the school in line with industry standards. It also gives that business owner, is this student a good fit in my business, right? Can I now grow this student into a full-time employee, part-time employee, summertime help? So there's a lot of different check marks that the Give Me 10 provides. And so the ask is, will you donate 10 hours? And it's non-paid. So we go 10 hours non-paid for the student, 10 hours where the school will allow it, and then 10 hours in our shop. Now, the way our program now works is we have workforce development involved with it, along with private funding. So our students, after the 10 hours, if it's a perfect match, they can continue this path, this career path, each week, and they get paid. Okay. So the reason why we are doing this is because—
And is that through your program, not through the shop? This still is not costing your shop owner anything. So their first 10 hours is a give on both parts. The second 10 hours, you can provide pay to the employee through your organization, and you're still helping the shop.
Right. Actually, they're getting paid through the school. So we've got 2 different grants going there. So we have a $40,000 grant right now that actually pays the student. So that student can get paid to go to school now, okay, from now until May. So now what happens in May? He's done with school, right? So now he's looking for a job. Now you as a shop owner have already kind of vetted him. You know what he can do, what he can't do. And now he becomes an asset to you, right? Because he can do certain things. Now you can look at this student and say, hey, now I want to invest. I want to invest maybe some education. We give tool grants. We have other resources available. So a tool grant can look as simple as, okay, we're looking at the student as a 6-month window, about 1,000 hours. So we say to the student, I'm going to give you $1,000 worth of tools. And when you're done with the 1,000 hours, those tools are yours. If you don't complete the 1,000 hours, they're mine. Okay. We want you to pick out the tools that you need that with the vehicles that you're working on. So where are you in your education? Are you a C Tech, B Tech? I mean, we've had some kids that are coming in that have been working on cars, just like in the old days with their dads.
Yes.
And they're coming in as a solid B Tech, and they do have some tools. We also engage workforce development, which can be, it's provided all through the country. It's federal grant money. To this date, we're at about $600,000 in federal grants. And that's to
Fantastic.
earn, learn, and retain your current workforce. So you can get paid internship grants, on-the-job training grants, incumbent worker grants. We have also gotten free tuition at the local community college through grant-based applications. So, workforce agencies are all over the country. They could be called different things in different states, like Michigan is Michigan Works. Ours is Workforce Development Agencies. I don't know what it is out in California, but we do have connections all over. So when we look at proof of concept, we can show you that we've taken a junior in high school and we have a couple of the kids who have had paid internship grants, paid tool grants, free tuition at local community colleges, and now they're working at dealerships.
Okay, so those of you listening, parents, you have students, male or female, right? We have a lot more females, technicians. They'll never be the muscular, right? To be able to yank that engine out. And I know there's girls in the audience like, I'll yank that engine. I do it, right? And I get it. Not everybody's like that though. I think there's like diagnostically, women are absolutely wired for diagnostic service and being able to do that. So parents that are listening, Sue and her organization, Give Me 10, is really about giving opportunities in a trade, in a really good industry that you can feel good. It's hands-on learning, it's hands-on work. And a lot of people aren't made to sit in front of a computer all day. They want to use their hands. They want to have that physicality. They love a challenge and they need something interesting every day they go to work, something different. It's not the same thing. It's a different car. It's a different problem. It's a different service. So I really admire what you're doing, Sue, because we are looking for more technicians in the automotive industry and we are finding them because not everybody was made to go to college. So I'm really impressed with how much funding and partnerships you've been able to put together in really such a short time.
Yes, we're trying. We've got a lot of fires burning right now, but you have to look at our industry too. So the females that are in our industry, and I actually had my first female technician that had come in through Lincoln Tech. So she took a formal program for 2 years through Lincoln Tech. This woman was awesome with wiring. Now, all my older guys didn't want to do anything with wiring. Little hands, right? Little hands, big hands, old hands. So she did all the wiring,
Yes.
So that was awesome. But let's look at the technician that comes in or the person that comes in and says, I love the automotive industry. I want to be a technician. And he comes in and you look at him and you're like, I don't know if this is a good fit. Well, why don't we take a 10-hour window and give them a service advisor's position and see how they feel there, right? Because
you're on the same page. Sue, I was just thinking women are great service advisors because we're very trusting. Now, I know that we deal with, can I talk to someone who knows what they're doing? I've talked to women as service advisors. They go through some of that. You handle it in a very graceful way and you let them know. It's just an unconscious bias. They can't help it. It's the way it is, and we change it. So yes, let's talk about that. What is a service advisor? I know a lot of people in the audience know, but many don't. When you take your car into a shop, it's the person at the desk. So what goes into being a service advisor?
Well, first of all, you have to know the operations of what a vehicle is, right? So you're coming in and I have this noise, beep, beep, toot, toot, noises or a feeling. We have to be able to identify different parts, right? Brake parts, calipers. We have an issue stopping. We have a vibration. When is it happening? When is this vibration happening? Is it happening while we're driving, when we're braking? And then we need to listen to what the customer is saying. And then we, in our minds, need to kind of decipher the direction of where that repair is going to go. Okay. And then once the technician is diagnosed that problem, we're the ones actually feeding the information to the customers. So we have to be educated on the how, the why, and the what of that repair. If you don't have that, you can't really be a service advisor.
Well, I'm sure you've loved this conversation, and you can tell that it's not over yet. So join me on the inside in the next podcast, where we're going to continue our conversation.